I honestly can't believe that I'm making a video about Hulk Hogan passing away. I am a huge professional wrestling fan. I have been since I was a child. I never stopped watching it. Heck, just yesterday I was watching a documentary online about the Ultimate Warrior, one of Hulk Hogan's greatest opponents, WrestleMania 6, the one that hooked me for life. I watched Hulk versus Andre WrestleMania 3. I I was 4 years old when that happened, and I still remember it. But WrestleMania 6 was the one. Uh, Hulk and the Ultimate Warrior, because back then, two good guys, two faces didn't wrestle each other. Look, you could say what you want about Hulk Hogan, the person. Say what you want about Terry Bollea, the person. That's fine. You can make your judgments, have your opinions. That's fine, right? Base it off of whatever the media tells you to base it off of. That's your prerogative. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life in that respect. But Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler, without Hulk Hogan, the business doesn't reach the heights it reaches. Vince McMahon doesn't take the WWE to where it goes. And you can say what you want about Vince, too. I don't care. Okay? But it does not reach where it reaches. And the NWO and WCW doesn't reach where it reaches without Hulk Hogan. Think about that. Hulk Hogan, for a time, was the greatest good guy who told us to say our prayers and take our vitamins, the 24-inch pythons, the red and yellow, Real American, Hulkamania, Hulkamaniacs, right? We were all Hulkamaniacs, right? You could pretend that you weren't. But there are certain people of a certain age that were all Hulkamaniacs. There was a stretch for probably about 10 years, 8 to 10 years, that everyone knew who Hulk Hogan was. Whether you were a wrestling fan or not, you knew who Hulk Hogan was. Hulk Hogan was the crossover star. I'm not saying he was the best wrestler of the time, because he was not, right? He knew what he had to do to get over in the ring. He was charisma personified, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say, right? He didn't have to do the things he used to do in Japan when he was coming off the top rope, right? When he was doing step-up enziguris, right? For those of you that know, right? Hulk Hogan used to do that shit, right? When he was Golden Sterling in the AWA, right? When he got real jacked, right? And, when he was a bad guy, right? For those of you that know, you know. But Vince took a guy, and he did take a guy, and he turned him into a cultural icon. Not a wrestling icon, a cultural icon. And then Hulk fades away a little bit. He goes and tries to be Hollywood, makes some terrible movies. Sorry, Terry, you did. And then WCW and Eric Bischoff happens, right? He goes to WCW, the red and yellow's there. We're all happy, nostalgia. Woo, Hulk's back. Yeah, all right, cool. And then Pastamania happened, and we were like, yo, it's the 90s now. Grunge is here, right? Gangsta rap is here. Society is changing. We fucking hate the man now, right? We don't need, wrestling can't be cartoony anymore, and we don't need this bullshit anymore. Hall and Nash show up. It starts getting a little real, a little bit more gritty. They start teasing the third man. Sting starts doing his thing, right? Where he turns into the Crow. Because I remember Sting was basically their Hulk Hogan, right? Where he had the blonde flat top, the bright face pin. I know he got a lot of comparisons to Ultimate Warrior. They used to be a tag team back in the day. They had 2 iterations of their tag team. My favorite was the Blade Runners, by the way. So Hulk goes, he drops the leg drop on Macho in the middle of the ring at Bash at the Beach, and people start chucking shit in the ring. He tells Mean Gene to tell the crowd to shut up, and the NWO starts. Hulk Hogan became the greatest bad guy of all time, besides Vince McMahon, besides Vince. And then after all that, after the collapse of WCW, and it was a collapse, right? Hulk Hogan and his creative control, they had a great run at the top, and then it crashed down. Vince Russo shows up, and he's a piece of shit, right? To me, one of the worst minds in pro wrestling. I'm sorry, I do not like him. And then Hulk comes back, but he comes back in the black and white, comes back to the WWE, comes back home in the black and white, and has a run, man. Has a run. Has a great match against The Rock at WrestleMania 18, which is my personal favorite non-title match at WrestleMania. And I was at WrestleMania 26 with Shawn and Taker. And Hulk Rock is still my favorite match. Period. That match was crazy good. That's a match I still go back and watch several times a year on purpose. Also, WWE, please start doing WrestleMania reviews again. Come on now. Start making those shows again. I miss the WWE Network here in the States. Start making shows again. Damn it. WWE crap on Peacock sucks. But then Hulk goes back to red and yellow and wins tag team titles, right? We have the whole deal with Shawn, right? Which was hilarious because Shawn became that dick again, and he was justified in doing so. But he wins a tag team title with Edge, and then he becomes champion again. You guys know who he pinned to become champion again, to become undisputed champion again? The guy that you say buries everyone, Triple H. Because you smarky fans think you know everything about pro wrestling. Look, say what you want about Hulk Hogan. Say what you want about Terry Bollea, the person. Hulk Hogan is on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. Hulk Hogan is the singular force in pro wrestling that made it what it is today. If you take away Hulk Hogan from pro wrestling, it's not what it is. It's not what it becomes. There is no Attitude Era without Hulk Hogan. Take away Hulk Hogan from the NWO. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Put Sting in that spot instead. Doesn't work. And I love Sting, but it doesn't work. Doesn't work. And is that an opinion? Yes. Yes, it is. But it's an opinion that I believe. There's a reason it worked with Hulk. He was from the outside. He was a New York guy, right? From the WWE, from the other company. Doesn't work with Sting, homegrown talent, right? Basically homegrown talent. Just doesn't work. He didn't come from the big bad Northeast like Hulk did, even though he didn't really start there. Right? So, look, rest in peace, Terry Bollea. He leaves behind a family. And he leaves behind a legion of Hulkamaniacs who grew up thinking that this guy was the coolest dude that walked the face of the earth. A lot of us said our prayers and took our vitamins, not because our parents said so, because Hulk Hogan said so. A lot of us started working out because Hulk Hogan had 24-inch pythons, right? A lot of us thought it was cool to be an asshole because Hulk Hogan started being an asshole. And Stone Cold. But he leaves behind a family. He was a pioneer in the business. He's an icon. He's a pop culture icon. Not just a wrestling icon, a pop culture icon. And it's sad that he's gone at 71 years old. Rest in peace, Terry Bollea. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite Hulk Hogan memory is. Let's keep it cordial in the comments, all right? Or you know what? Just be dicks. I don't care. But let me know your guys' favorite Hulk Hogan memory. Maybe you guys went to a house show and saw Hulk. Maybe you guys just remember watching a moment with him on Raw or Nitro or whatever. But let everyone know that moment down in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.